This is our first record, simply called Bon Jovi. It came out in January of 1984. This street is what is known as Columbus Circle here in New York City. And there we are standing in the front of a burger joint that I used to have to run to get burgers and fries for the people recording in the studio I was the gopher in. I don't know this girl. I didn't know her then. I never saw her again after. And somehow a stranger ends up on the album cover while the poor band are on the back of the cover. Back then we didn't have a lot of say in what the artwork was going to be. We were so ridiculously green when we made these first couple records that a guy from the record company came in, he said, 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature that rock melts. Genius. Not my favorite record. This is the cover of Slippery When Wet. It should have been called The Rocket's Ship to Stardom. Slippery When Wet changed all our lives. Bon Jovi, New Jersey. If there was anything that we had on our minds was, don't let anyone think that Slippery When Wet was a fluke. At this point, we were fed up with record company folks coming to us and telling us what they wanted, how they wanted it, where they wanted it. We simply stated, here's the name of the band, this is where we're from. Now it's up to us to provide the music. Keep the faith. So now it's the 90s. Grunge music comes up. We see a lot of things that we can write about. The Berlin Wall coming down, the riots in LA, the Rodney King beatings. So not only did we survive, but we thrived throughout the 90s. 1995 brought us These Days. Maybe not the same kind of hit singles, but a very successful album in its own right. Some would say that it was a darker record, but we were in a great place writing. It was a deeper record. Playing these songs, you know, they still stand up for me today. But with the success of Always and Saturday Night, the singles on here really didn't get the chance. But great album. In 2000, we released Crush. Couldn't have been a more appropriate title. We had written a song called It's My Life. A new generation of people found the band. I think we surprised a lot of people why we lived through the 80s, we lived through grunge, and now we live through the new millennium. Bounce. This was written in the fall of 2001, which was 9/11. And on that fateful day, Richie and I were at my home in New Jersey. We were writing songs for what was to become this record, but obviously the world changed on that day. And then the resilience, because if you remember, 9/12 was a day that the world came together. And there was that kind of, okay, we'll bounce back. 2005, Have a Nice Day. This yet again opened some different doors. Won us a Grammy, and we were the first rock band ever to have a #1 country single. So after the success of Have a Nice Day, it was evident and obvious that country radio was in love with Bon Jovi. So we made a Nashville-flavored Bon Jovi record that I really, to this day, truly do love. This one is called The Circle. It doesn't take a genius to figure out we went full circle back to rock and roll. We didn't pick up on hip-hop when hip-hop was popular, boy bands when boy bands were popular. We just evolved as men and as songwriters. You know, I couldn't rewrite something from 1986 in 2010. It wouldn't ring true. But for us, this record did ring true. In 2013, we did What About Now? This is the last record that Richie participated in. It was the end of a chapter for the band. Difficult, but you know, life goes on. This house is not for sale, metaphorically speaking, is your heart and your soul and the work that you put in for 30 plus years at that point. Quite a statement record, #1 album. In fact, twice. Was the album that was out when we were inducted in the Hall of Fame. Not only were we still on top, but the songs were deeper and they mean something. 2020. While we were recording songs for this album and I'd come up with the album title 2020, it was really tongue-in-cheek. Bon Jovi, election year, cute t-shirt, why not? But then in March of 2020, the world shuts down. And obviously, everything stops, including the record. And what was happening in front of me gave me opportunity to write more. And a deep, thoughtful record, but I was really almost in the third person, just narrating what was going on around us. The forthcoming record, it's called Forever. And this is a collection of songs that were truly fueled by joy. You know, as I sit here reminiscing about 18 albums in 40 years. It gives me great feeling of pride, joy, appreciation for everybody who has been on that ride with us. And I look forward to being able to say more and sing more as time goes on.